All right, everyone, get ready because I found something really cool online the other day. And you know how rent's always that big payment every single month? Well, imagine making it work for you instead of the other way around.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. This Canadian platform called PayQue, it lets you pay rent with a credit card. Even if your landlord's like stuck in the Stone Age with checks.
I think what's really interesting is how it changes how we see rent, right? Like it's not just a monthly expense anymore. It's more like a financial tool.
Right. Building credit,
Yeah.
racking up those sweet, sweet rewards, and managing everything so easily.
Yeah, I bet people are wondering, is this legit?
Oh, for sure. And honestly, good.
Yeah.
It's smart to be skeptical, which is exactly why we're diving into this today.
Makes sense. This is especially good for those who are watching their budget or just starting to build their credit.
Absolutely. So many articles I read talked about this, how it could be huge for building credit. Think about it.
Mm.
Those consistent rent payments actually being reported.
Oh, like to Equifax and TransUnion and all those
Oh, you
guys?
got it.
That's massive because when you look at how credit scores actually work, on-time payments for
Yeah.
larger amounts like that are like gold.
Huge.
It shows lenders that you're responsible,
Yeah,
that you can handle your money.
exactly. And PayQ, they're planning on reporting these payments to those credit bureaus. Double the impact.
Although, just a little caveat, that feature isn't live just yet, but they're working on it, so it's on the horizon for sure.
Good point. Got to keep that in mind. You know what really got me excited, though? The rewards. Imagine this. Paying for your morning coffee with points you got from paying your rent.
Whoa, that's wild. Or even like a vacation or something, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Cashback, travel miles, all that good stuff that you wouldn't normally associate with, just paying your rent.
For sure, but we gotta be real. It's not a magic solution for everyone. It really depends on how you spend your money and what your credit card offers.
Yeah, you got to be mindful of your own habits.
Right, like do you prefer cash back,
hmm
travel miles? Do you pay off your balance every month? These are things you have to think about to know if it's actually a good fit.
Makes total sense. Okay, so beyond the credit building and those rewards, something else really stood out to me. This platform, it just seems so easy to use, like setting into your account, adding your landlord, scheduling payments. It's all online.
And that goes back to what we were just saying about being aware financially. It's about having a good handle on your cash flow, which can be tricky if your income and bills don't always line up right.
Right. It's about having that control and flexibility. But okay, let's address the elephant in the room here, fees. Because nothing in life is really free.
That's true. But the cool thing is that PayQ seems pretty good about it. They're pretty upfront. They have a clear fee structure.
Totally. Looking at their FAQs, it seems like the fees range from 0.8% to 1.5% of your rent.
Okay, so let's say your rent is $1,000.
Right. With an E-Interact payment, you'd be looking at around $37.30 total.
Gotcha. So that's where it comes down to each person's situation. If you're earning like 2% cash back on all your credit card purchases, then that fee is
Or
covered.
you might even come out on top.
Right. But if you're not using your rewards to the max, it might be a different story.
Totally. So crunch those numbers and see what works best for you.
Definitely. We're not here to tell you what to do. It's about having all the info to make smart decisions.
Exactly. Okay,
Mhm.
so before we get too far into that, I want to shift gears just a bit and talk about security. I mean, we're talking about your hard-earned cash here.
Absolutely. And it's good that PayQ is really open about their security measures.
Mm-hmm.
Things like data encryption, that's a big one. Your information is basically scrambled up, super hard to crack. And then there's the AML/CTF compliance that we talked about.
Right, like having someone watching over every...
Totally. Nothing's foolproof, but it shows they're serious about security, which is what you want when you're dealing with your financial info.
100%. This whole PayQ thing got me thinking. We always see rent as this, necessary evil. It's this big expense that sucks every month.
It just disappeared.
Right. But what if we could actually, change our relationship with rent? Using services like this.
Right. Like, is it just a bill
Yeah.
or is it actually an opportunity?
Yeah. Taking something we thought of as this fixed expense and figuring out how to make it work better for us. Building credit, getting rewards, or even just having more control over our money.
That's powerful. It's not feeling stuck with these payments. It's about taking charge and making them work for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flipping the script and being smart with our money. Okay, so anyone listening who's intrigued, what's the next step? What should they do?
Honestly. Check out the free account. You can explore the platform. No pressure at all. No need to even touch your credit card until you're ready to see if it lines up with your goals.
It really is all about finding what works for you.
Yeah.
And the good news is you don't have to jump in head first.
Nope. Not at all. You can actually create a free account with PayQue, check out the dashboard, look at the fees, all that.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And you don't even need your credit card info until you're ready to commit.
That's great. Speaking of being ready, I kind of want to go back to security for a second. It's
Yeah.
one thing for a company to say they're all about it, but what's PayQue actually doing?
Yeah, for sure. So they're really open about their protocols. Data encryption is a big one. Like I said, your info is basically turned into code, super hard to break.
Right.
And then there's the AML/CTF stuff we talked about, which is another layer.
Like a safety net, basically.
Exactly. Again, nothing's perfect, but it shows they're taking it seriously, which is what matters, when you're talking about finances.
Definitely. This whole conversation, it made me think about how we see rent. You know, it's like this necessary evil every month, this big payment.
Just throws your budget off.
Yeah. But what if services like this could change that? Our whole perspective on it.
Interesting.
Like instead of just being a bill, it's an opportunity.
I like that.
It's taking this expense that we think we can't change and finding ways to make it work for us. Building credit, rewards, having control.
It's empowering, not feeling trapped by it, but like you're in the driver's seat.
Yes. Okay. So anyone listening who's like, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah.
What's the next step? What should they do?
I'd say take advantage of that free account option, poke around the platform, see what it's all about. There's no risk, and you get a feel for whether it fits your goals.
I love it. Go check out their website, everyone, and let us know what you think. All right, before we wrap up this deep dive on PayQue, there are a few other things I want to mention. Okay, so one thing that really stood out to me about PayQue was how they handle, like, actually paying the landlord. It's super flexible.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
So it's not just about, like, direct deposit. They've got options for everyone, whether your landlord's tech savvy or, still prefers paper.
Smart move.
Right, like they've got e-interact transfers. Those are instant, right? ACH transfers that take a few days. And even, get this, checks in the mail.
Wow, they really thought of everything.
They really did. And I think it shows they get it. For a service like this to really work, it's got to be easy for both sides, renters and landlords.
For sure, especially if someone's worried their landlord might not be into trying new tech stuff.
Exactly. Makes that whole transition smoother. Okay, one more thing before we wrap up. PayQue's transparency. Their FAQs, super detailed, which I always appreciate.
Oh, yeah. When it comes to your money, you want things to be clear.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's all in plain language, easy to understand. They even talk about things like, what if my landlord says no to PayQue?
What do they say about
They're
that?
really clear that it's meant to work with any landlord no matter what. They even suggest, like, talking to your landlord about it, maybe even having PayQue reach out to them directly.
Now that's going the extra mile. It shows they care about their customers.
For sure. It's not just about the tech. It's about actually understanding how renting works in the real world and trying to improve it.
It'll be interesting to see how it all evolves, how landlords and tenants adapt to this whole new way of doing things.
Absolutely. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into PayQue. Hopefully everyone listening feels a little more informed, a little more in control of their finances, right?
Like I always say, knowledge is power. The more you know about your options, the better decisions you can make.
Yes. Couldn't have said it better myself. So if you're curious about PayQue and want to see if it's right for you, go check out their website, explore a bit.
And as always, do your research, ask questions, take charge of your financial journey.
Love it. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep with us.